What's going on, guys? This is Damien from The Lookout and I'm here with our Xenoverse format tier list. If you don't know what Xenoverse is, 27th of May we're gonna have a free global online webcam tournament over on our Discord. It's no bans, no limits, and only a couple of erratas formats. So this is completely uncharted territory, and because the tournament is so close, we're making a tier list now. Like, maybe this inspires you to play, to try out some decks, and I think that it's cool to speculate on a format like this. But before we begin this video, huge shout out to our patrons. The coffee club is growing strong. Ryan, Bixen, Adnan, Jakub, Bryce, Derek, Frank, Nave, and finally Miguel. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Your support means more coffee and one step closer to buying a new table to flip. I will post a picture of the table on social media once we buy it, because that's like the big milestone goal. Guys, if you wish to support us this way, you absolutely don't need to, though we do all of this for free. So if you feel like tossing us $2 for coffee, link to the Patreon account is in the description below. And guys, finally, share the video, hit those like and subscribe buttons and help us grow. We are on our way to 3,000 subs. Almost halfway there. That's crazy. But I'm not gonna delay this anymore. Let's just jump into the tier list. Roll the video. Okay guys, 27th of May Xenoverse event. The Lookout Discord, no bans, no limits, some erratas. If you want to see things unbanned, go and play at this tournament. Trust me. If you want to see things unbanned, this is the only chance that we have had since forever to create a big enough tournament, to create big enough data sample size to see what's okay, what's broken, to get some actual objective data. So if for nothing else, go play your favorite deck. Let's see if we can get something unbanned. Let's see if we can change some things. Now let's jump into the tier list. Tier 0 OP, absolutely broken. Tier 1 meta defining. These are going to be, I think, outside of Tier 0 the highest performing decks. Tier 2 high competitive. These are the decks that can top. These are the decks that can win. Theoretically, they can win. They can definitely top. Tier 3 are your rogue decks, and then Tier 4 is just bad. I have some of the newer decks here. Not newer, but like more played in the current meta decks. And think of them more as me showing you the extreme scale of power and the extreme power difference that we're looking at with this format. So let us start. I'll analyze this as much as I can. Let us start with Golden Frieza. So the best way to analyze this is look at what the leader does. So what is Golden Frieza's upside in this format? He can switch two of any energies, doesn't matter the color, to active mode. Okay, that's our strength. What are we getting if we are playing Golden Frieza? What do we get in return? You get 4 copies of Bergamo, 4 copies of Power of the Super Saiyan, 4 copies of Cold Bloodlust. Outside of that, you are getting access to minus skill zone. Everything is. You're getting 4 copies of Shugesh as your super combo. You're getting 4 copies of Bad Ring Laser. Then, if you want to combine Frieza with some other color, you are getting, let's say, blue. What else? You're getting Violent Rush Bojack. You are getting Zemasu, unerrated as well. You are getting Senzubin unerrated. You are getting a lot of things with Frieza. Plus, on top of all of that, Frieza can just restand his own energies. So I think that it's pretty safe to say that Frieza is tier 2. Yeah, after all of this, Frieza is tier 2. Yeah, I think that when it comes to control-ish decks, that Frieza is definitely the best one in this format. No, he's not the best one, but he's tier 2. Now let's go through some of them quickly. Majin Vegeta was good. in a best of 1 format for a limited period of time. I think that he was also played in best of 1 without pre-side. He got his field card errata, which took away a lot of his power. Now he has it back. So how good is Majin Vegeta going to be in this format? He's still super consistent green aggro deck. However, if you're going aggro, some other decks will just flat out aggro you. They will just out aggro you. And Majin Vegeta isn't the one that can keep up in this format. I'm gonna put him in mid competitive. If you are a very good Majin Vegeta player, you can get top cut. Not maybe top cut, but let's say maybe top 8. Because we don't know how many players there are gonna be at the tournament. But let's say like at least top 8. You can get it with Majin Vegeta. Then Icarus gets everything the same as Frieza, plus has the Saiyan tag, plus draws a lot. However, Frieza is better in every way. In this format where you can just untap energy like crazy, Frieza is just better in any way. Plus he has 4 copies of Cold Lust. Icarus doesn't have it. Icarus goes into mid. If you're between like, oh, I'm gonna play like something that draws a lot and I'm gonna, you know, do some control here and there, and then I'm gonna like remove stuff and it's gonna be cool, maybe splash a bit with blue. Everything that you have in mind for doing with yellow, if it's along those lines of play, you're looking at Golden Frieza at the minimum. You're looking at Golden Frieza. Now SS4 Goku, I'm not gonna say much about it. He's mid competitive. I'm close to putting him to trash, but I'm gonna put him to mid competitive. He's just here to show you something, to show you a comparison in power. This is mid competitive. It's pretty cool. It's you burst your play cards from the warp, from the drop. There's a lot of things that you can do here. This one is much better. So as long as this one exists, you're not really gonna do much with this one here. Dark Broly, our first meta-defining deck. Okay, so for those of you who were fortunate enough never to play against full power Dark Broly, imagine playing against Kai, for example, because it's a black aggro deck. Imagine playing against Kai. It plays, you know, a bunch of guys on the field, it swings at you, it has some overwhelm shenanigans. Now imagine if all of them were 30k. If all of them were 30k. Imagine if he had like so much combo power that it's just stupid. Like, that's Dark Broly. One of the strongest decks ever made. Like, guys, the only way that Bandai could have nerfed this deck is they had to errata everything in the engine, and he was still strong enough, so they had to hit the leader as well, and he is still good. He's not tier 1 anymore, but he's still good even after all of that. So yeah, and now he's in full power plus minus kill zone, so no pesky counterplays to stop Dark Broly. Yeah, insane. King Piccolo, one of the best red aggro decks ever made. What does he gain here? Well, he gains his entire engine, basically. Similar to Dark Broly, King Piccolo had his engine gutted. His droppies got banned, flat out piano got banned, drum got limited to 1. King Piccolo is getting them back. He's getting 4 copies of Piccolo Unison as well, though I think you might also run Gogeta now, because Gogeta is just stupid. It's so stupid it shouldn't exist. He's a red deck. He's getting 4 copies of Yamcha again. Yeah, he's getting a lot. He's getting 4 copies of New Ruler, and on top of that he can just spam the field. He can draw so much. Yeah, high competitive for King Piccolo. Now, if you thought when... look, we have a nice pyramid stairs. Cool. If you thought that when I told you about Dark Broly, you're like, oh my god, like this sounds very crazy, you know. When I talked about King Piccolo, now maybe if you're someone who's not familiar with these old decks, you're getting a bit of a picture when you're like, look at this guy here, he's not that good. Gogeta Xeno, oh my god, Gogeta Xeno. If you've never played against Gogeta Xeno, I envy you. This deck, oh god, he's getting minus kill zone, so his biggest weakness of counterplays is gone. He's getting martial melee back. He is getting 4 copies of Thwarting the Dark Empire. Yeah, Gogeta Xeno, one of the strongest aggro decks ever made. He bursts 5 and then he warps and then he plays giant things and then he hits you with his SS3, who he can just keep getting back. He has 4 copies of him because it's not limited to 1. It's insane. It's just insane. Like, this is tier 1. So if you're looking to push through tier 1 to, you know, really do well at the tournament, these two are your gatekeepers. You need to, if you're looking for an aggro deck, you need to be able to be stronger than these two. And if you're looking at anything that's not aggro, you need to be able to beat them. And even they aren't the strongest black aggro deck in the game. Kai. Okay, so now we are looking at Kai. Well, Kai is pretty good at the moment. It's definitely the best black deck, whatever Cumber fans want to say. Kai puts out better results than Cumber. However, what does Kai get here? Kai gets 4 copies of Thwarting back. Kai gets Fighting Against Fate back. Kai gets a lot back here. Plus, Kai has the neat ability to actually have those cards stick around. That's something that Gogeta, for example, is missing in the current format. In this format. Even considering all of that, how would Kai fare right now? I think Kai would have just gotten ruffle stomped by these other decks. I think Kai is mid-competitive at best. You can try with Kai, but I think that it's mid-competitive at best. It has potential. It's not bad. It's not bad, guys. If you have copies of Bardock Fighting Against Fate, put it in this deck. Put your SS3 Thwarting the Dark Empires in this deck. This deck is gonna be bloody insane. Plus minus kill zone, of course. But is it good enough to compete with other things that are gonna go into higher tiers? I don't think so. Now comes a pretty juicy one. And that is, this thing is bad. So, how and why? Well, this was one of the best blue decks in the game for a very short period of time. And it was best because, like, the circumstances surrounding the metagame made it this good. Bandai ended up banning it. I wasn't up for that ban simply because if you compare Crimson to everything else on the ban list, Crimson is like laughably bad. He's just laughably bad. He's not good. So he was good because he could do well against, for example, Gogeta. And Gogeta isn't good in this format. Gogeta is... We'll get to Gogeta. Now let's look at Trunks Geta. Trunks Geta gets the same tools as Icarus does, but also has his redrop who rests, plus power of the Super Saiyan, plus the ability to go aggro. Yeah, I think... But still, is it better than Golden Frieza? I don't think it is. I think Trunks Geta is like mid. At best, he's mid in this format. We're just gonna go quickly over some of these newer ones. Gamma is flat out bad. Gamma doesn't get anything in this format and it's just gonna get clapped. This is a turn 2 format, so Gamma just flat out dies. Gamma just dies, doesn't do anything. Similar to Gogeta. I would say that Gogeta is bad, but I'm going to put him in mid-competitive instead because he gains access to some cool red cards. you draw a lot, you're not gonna play your boss monster, you're not gonna survive until turn 4 to do that. But you will be getting some cool pressure pieces, you're getting Yamcha back. It's better than like tier 4, but I don't think it's tier 2, to be fully honest with you guys. I don't think it's tier 2. Allow me to elaborate a bit more. So what do I mean by like, hey, Gogeta tier 3, King Piccolo turn tier 2? Like, Gogeta is much slower than King Piccolo is. Gogeta is super strong, but it's much slower. It takes time for you to start doing things. Your big, huge payoff is at like 4 energy. I mean, if you can get to 4 energy and then you slap minus skill zone and then your Gogeta can't be hit by Dirty Burst or something, you just flat out win. You win at that point if your opponent is on 3 lives. However, getting there is the problem, and I don't think that Gogeta has what's necessary to get there. So I wouldn't put Gogeta into high competitive. I think that it is too slow. Now you might be thinking, but wait, Frieza is here and he is slow. Yeah, but Frieza is a phenomenal control deck. The one that is high competitive is Red Sin. Red Sin is much stronger than Gogeta in this format. You're faster. You get Haze. You get minus skill zone, obviously. You get a new ruler. You get 4 copies of Yamcha. But more importantly, you go with yellow. You get 4 copies of Bad Ring Laser as well. So yeah, Sin much stronger than Gogeta is. Infinitely stronger in this format. So Sin is tier 2. And now we're finally at some of these older ones. Though I want to take Gohan and I want to put him in high competitive as well. Gohan, definitely the best blue aggro deck. The best blue aggro deck. Actually, I'm just gonna remove him so that you just don't skip and you have to listen to me. Haha. So I just put out a video on how to build this Gohan deck. It's not the optimal list, but basically you can attack like 14 times or so. You can attack like a billion times in a turn because you have Senzu Bean. You have Unyielding Spirit Trunks who restands energy. You have so much in this deck. You can just spam things forever and half of your deck draws, so you just keep refilling your hand. Gohan, extremely broken. Tier 1, meta defining. Definitely the tier 1 deck. The tier 1 blue deck. But not the only tier 1 blue deck. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I know what you are thinking. I know what all of you are thinking. You're like, okay, where is he? So, the next one is the original SS3 Goku. So, if you're new to the game, you know SS3 Goku from, his current printing, the reboot one. That's the one that you know. The original one was stupid. The original one was flat out stupid. You can still just only have 6 energies, but first off, turn 1 he can ramp you up to 2 with his activate main, and then he restands any color of energy. Any color. Not blue, not mono blue, anything. And that's what makes this thing so extremely powerful in this format. You immediately ramp, and then turn 1, you have 2 energy. You pay 1, you pay 2 energy, you play objection, you play Senzu Bean, untap them, you slap another objection if you happen to have it. If you don't have objection, sure, you play something else. This guy, terrifying, tier 1, definitely tier 1. Next we have Hero Storm. I know a lot of people love Hero Storm. Hero Storm, definitely one of the stronger decks in the game. Hero Storm was such a menace when it came out. Oh god, it was a menace. Would it stand the test of time and be good in the Xenoverse format? So from someone who was a victim of Hero Storm, I don't think that this deck is as good anymore. With Z leaders existing, with so much other cards existing, like, because this is an ancient deck. Would this deck still be oppressive today? That's a good question. And honestly, I think that a good Hero Storm pilot can actually make this one a high competitive deck. You know, I had multiple versions of this tier list, and originally I put him in mid competitive. But Hero Storm is something that you really need to respect. You really need to respect what a phenomenal pilot can do with this deck. This deck is insane. Think of it, it was one of the most broken, unbalanced things ever made when it came out. And now it has all of the other things that got on the ban list in the meantime. I am controversially gonna put Hero Storm in tier 2. I think it's a high competitive deck, but it's extremely difficult to play. I mean, it's one of the easier Storm decks to play, but it's still difficult to do so. Now I'm gonna give you guys a hot take. The Table Destroyer Exodia Gogeta. I've played this deck. I did awful with it. Some other players did well with it. There is one big thing that is holding this deck back. One huge thing, and that is Dirty Burst. Because Dirty Burst kills you. It just flat out kills you. Whenever you're playing against any deck which is blue and they see what you're playing, they put in Dirty Burst and then you lose. Because you can't swing and you just exhausted your options. However, in this format, you have access to minus skill zone. And minus skill zone not only draws you a card, you want to just have more than enough cards to play minus skill zone, it also shuts down counterplays. And that's the big thing that was holding this deck back. So now if you do your Exodia combo, which you should be able to do, because now you have the entirety of the unerrated card pool in existence, almost the entirety, available to you, you can do your combo more consistently and then you can flat out win. So I'm putting this one into high competitive solely because of the minus skill zone. Then there is the Super Shenron. Oh man, so I did not think that Super Shenron is going to be good in this format. Then I talked a bit to my co-host Peter Dance, who has more experience with Super Shenron than I do. Luckily I was on a break during this period of the game. And yeah, Super Shenron is terrifying. Super Shenron is terrifying. One of the strongest decks ever made. So, and now with Desires, also unerrated, now that you can do what, a World Peace, or was it World Peace, the one that you can just play Gogeta 7-drop or something? Yeah, meta-defining. Definitely meta-defining for Super Shenron. Then if you want to play a deck that is similar to these two, but for example you don't have cards for these two, but you still want to play something that you know relatively close to it, Boo. Black Boo. You have Turles and you have the Universe free engine. So you can go with those. Those can really help you out. If you don't know what Turles does, he's a 10k dual attacker. Activate main, choose 2 black cards in your drop area with an energy cost between 3 and 7 and place them at the bottom of your deck in any order. You then play him from your hand. He doesn't have unique, he doesn't have limit once. Activate battle. Once per turn, choose 1 card in your hand and place it in your drop area. This card gets plus 5k for the duration of the turn. You play him with Universe free robot package. Because you have your robots which will just basically allow you to, for example, one of them says you choose 1 black battle card with a cost of 3, send it to its owner's warp, and then you play it. And you discard it with Turles's effect. You can get them back to the bottom of the deck. You use Majin Buu's Human Extinction attack. You can use your Majin Buu's ability just to refill your hand. Black Majin Buu, definitely a deck which you need to respect in this format. Super fast. Think of him as Vegex Light, because he was Vegex Light before Vegex came out. For that reason alone, I would actually put him into high competitive. I think he's stronger than anything below, because he is literally Vegex Light. If you don't have Vegex, you play Majin Buu. Then, Peter, I know you're watching this video, so I'm going to put Invoker into bad. No, man. Like, Invoker... Like, guys, Invoker is probably the most difficult deck to pilot in the game. I don't think that compared to some other things here, like Hero Storm, which really needs correct sequencing, that Invoker is the most difficult deck to pilot. Yeah, that hot topic, Damien said that Hero Storm requires more skill than Invoker. Hero Storm is more punishing. If you miss, Hero Storm is extremely punishing. That's why you really need to know how to sequence perfectly in the deck. Still, Invoker gets Objection, gets Unyielding Spirit Trunks, gets a Xeno button, gets Senzubin unerrated. Of course, minus Skill Zone, everything gets that. Invoker is meta-defining. Invoker is tier 1. I don't think that it's OP, but it's definitely tier 1. No questions asked. Now, Cell. There is a very specific build of Cell where you can go into Victory Strike turn 2. Or you can go into like Cell Xeno. Cell is not gonna be a hand destruction deck in this format. That's way too slow. But there is this super strong combo deck which is highly consistent, and for that reason alone I'm putting Cell into tier 1 because of that one specific deck. Gohan Reboot, the big boogeyman of the game, the green leader, which wasn't really for a green deck but more for like play something else and then put some green cards so that you can do like feed Kamehameha and then just do devastating things. Is it good today? It's easier to fight it. It's easier to fight it today. If this card got unbanned today, it wouldn't be that good. It wouldn't be as good as it was back in the day, because you have token negates, you have negates which prevent him from restanding. You have ways of stopping him now. However, in this format, you're not really gonna be running many of those, because you're either running better cards or you're just gunning to win as fast as possible. So in this format, with everything that's on the table, I think that Gohan is still meta-defining. I think Gohan is among the best decks. My logic is telling me that Gohan is like tier 2, but I think that a good Gohan pilot can make this like tier 1. Now we have Serge Goku. Serge Goku, I think of Surge leaders were phenomenal. Goku is both red and yellow, so he gets cool stuff that you get from having a red and yellow leader. He doesn't get anything that you get from having mono color leader, because he's not a monocolored leader, he's red yellow. Super strong. His ability to blank cards is phenomenal. In case you didn't know, basically he has the ability to remove one card from under him, and then you choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and then you just blank them for the duration of the turn as activate main battle. He just blanks everything. So yeah, that's insanely strong. That's insanely strong. So I want to put him here. I want to say that Goku is like high competitive. I was thinking of maybe putting him into mid, because you're not getting access to some tools that you would usually get with a mono leader. But still, you put him here, he gets to negate skills of cards, which is just flat out stupid strong. Other than that, besides being able to just do this, he also gains access to Shugesh, because Shugesh requires just a yellow leader, not mono yellow. You also get Bedring Laser as well. So yeah, I think that he is definitely... If you have yellow in you, you're basically like... And if you're mixed with something, you're basically tier 2 or higher. Unlike Icarus and Trunks Vegeta are struggling, because I think that Frieza does everything that they want to do just flat out better. Piccolo definitely here. Piccolo is stupid good. Piccolo should never be unbanned. It's one of the fan favorites. It's a ramp deck actually. It's a ramp deck, so it's cool. You choose one of your blue-green multicolor cards in your drop, negate its energy exhaust, and then you place it in your energy. That's his ability basically. He's very, very, very good. He also has hand destruction incorporated into him. He has access to blue, he has access to green. Is he necessarily like high competitive? In this environment, I would still put him into high competitive. I think that too many things would be in mid otherwise. Then we have Goku Rose. Goku Rose gets Goku Black gains access to one crucial card, and that is Plan for Destruction. If your leader is Goku Black or Zamasu, it's a 1 cost. It gets plus 10k for the duration of the battle, and if there are a total of 7 or more energy between you and your opponent, you ramp. For 1 energy, without limit to 1, you ramp. That's scary, because 2 things exist in this format. One of them is too slow. You can play Tragedy Overground, that is the too slow one. Though you can cheat it out with the newest Breaking the Taboo. You can just ramp into Breaking the Taboo and then just cheat Tragedy Overground. But the big thing that you have is you have access to the Gogeta 7 drop, which is, if you ask me, once again controversially, if you ask me, it is the best battle card ever made. Like, it is the best battle card that's meant to be in battle on the field. Is the best one ever made. It's so stupidly broken. So considering that, so this leader is trash, but considering that he has Plan for Destruction now, he has Objection, he has Breaking the Taboo if he wants to cheat in Tragedy Overground, he has a lot. So where does he go? He's not bad. I would put him in mid for now. I think that he's still mid with everything. Because even with all of this, I think he's still too slow. Then again, like, Piccolo is up as well, but Piccolo ramps just not as good. I don't know, honestly. I don't know about this one. I think that if he has all of these things that he can do and he can cheat out, I would, in this format, I would put him... I'm gonna decide that later. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put him in mid. I don't think he's that good, to be honest. You know what is good? Our first deck that goes into the OP category. OG Mecha Frieza. There is a very, very small amount of decks in the game that can boast to have the power that OG Mecha Frieza has. OG Mecha Frieza is just stupid. When you activate on his awakened side, when you activate an extra card, you may choose one card in your life and add it to your hand. If you do, reduce the cost of that extra card by 2 for the duration of the turn. If the reduced cost of the extra card is less than 1, you may activate the card without paying a specified cost. Objection, for example, is free with this card. This is flat out free. You're not paying. And there are some other disgusting cards that you can cheat. This is OP. This is the strongest yellow leader ever made. High competitive Broly. Okay, so Broly is a monster. If you've never fought against this Broly deck, it has an errata, so you probably never saw it after it got an errata, but basically you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, you switch it to rest mode. That now triggers your Bergamo if you have it. If you want to run it in this deck, it triggers your Putini. It triggers literally everything that triggers when you rest something. More importantly, activate main. Choose one card in your life and add it to your hand. Choose up to one of your cards in rest mode and switch it to active mode. You get to switch into active mode your big disgusting things. More importantly, and the sole reason why this leader is so above the rest, I'm gonna actually put him I don't know, here. We're not doing best to worst, but still, I want him to be here. He has access to Cold Bloodlust. He's Frieza's army. He has access to Cold Bloodlust. 4 copies. Tier 2. Definitely. So if you're wondering why are these tier 3 and these are tier 2, these two guys can actually use Cold Bloodlust. Then Soul Striker, unerrated. Let's just do this quickly. Mid, nothing special here, nothing that can compete with things that are above it. Mecha Frieza rebooted. I don't expect to see this one played at all at the event, because if players have the OG Mecha Frieza, they will play the OG Mecha Frieza instead. Still, extremely powerful leader, the second best next to the OG Mecha Frieza. This is meta defining. This is the best non-OG Mecha Frieza yellow deck. This one is bad. Don't play it. I just put him here because he's unerrated now. So yeah, this one is just bad. Vegex, tier 0. Definitely tier 0. So you remember when I talked about Broly and Gogeta? Vegex is that, it's just better. I talked about Boo, I talked about these two guys. Vegex is insane. Vegex is one of the strongest decks ever made. With Universe 3 engine, he attacks 100 billion times in a turn and then just proceeds to ruffle stomp you. Majin Vegeta. Majin Vegeta is bad. I don't think that he's even in the tier with these other two. Okay, sure, because they are here, let's put Majin Vegeta into mid competitive, but the deck doesn't do much. I mean, he does things. I'm sorry. I'm just tired a bit because we have been doing this for half an hour now. Majin Vegeta is tier 3 because his E-Leader is extremely explosive and he has access to Battering Laser now. So that's what actually makes him stupid, because for 1 energy he can steal games. Porunga. Porunga is a Resurrect Shenron deck, just like Super Shenron. Very strong, definitely not bad, so I'm just putting him here. He's mid, he's not as strong as this one, and I don't think that he is tier 2. I think, well, then again, looking at everything else, I just have to put Porunga in tier 2. Let me just read it very fast. You remove 7 from your drop. If you do, choose one card with energy cost less than equal to your current energy from your drop, and then you play it. You also have World Peace, you also have Child's Wish, you have everything. You can choose a desire in your hand with an energy cost less than or equal to your current energy and use its activate main skill. Yeah, okay, Porunga is like tier 2. Definitely tier 2, I would say. And now we reach the final two. Android 21 BT20 has one thing that's putting it over the top. It has access to Violent Predator. Now, if you don't know what Violent Predator does, and I believe a lot of you know what Violent Predator does, it's an 8 cost Android 21, so you can just use opponent's cards, but you still need to pay 5 specified. Deflect, triple take, 25k, doesn't matter. Auto. When you play this card from your hand, choose all of your opponent's non-multicolor energy and battle cards, ignoring barrier, negate their skills, and return them to their owner's decks. All players who returned cards to their decks shuffle their decks. So imagine if Android 21, as it exists now, could just basically take away all of your resources, your entire board, your entire energy, all of your battle cards, everything is just gone. This is tier 1 here. However, even with that, I think I would put it in high, because even with Violent Predator, you will just get violently clapped by these other decks before you get a chance to do Violent Predator, because Android 21 still needs to survive and to gather enough energy to play Violent Predator, and these guys aren't gonna let you do that. And finally, the last card on the list, and what I believe is the strongest deck, is by far King Vegeta. King Vegeta is the strongest deck in Xenoverse format. So if you don't know what to play King Vegeta. There is... Okay, I'm gonna explain why. There is a good reason why. King Vegeta got so many cards banned because of free play. And I don't think that anyone can look at the leaders in this format and say like, hey, King Vegeta is bad or something like that. No. I think we are all on the same page that King Vegeta is insane. However, what puts King Vegeta above Vegex, above these 3 guys, for example, mainly these 2, and above Vegex, above anything else, even OG Mecha Frieza, is that King Vegeta is the only one who can kill you turn 1 consistently. All of these others take time. King Vegeta is the only one who can kill you turn 1 consistently. That's what makes it so powerful, because turn 1 you win. That's what makes the deck insane. So that's why he's tier 0. And I think that I'm pretty happy with everything else. So yeah, this is the tier list. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below. Will you be playing at the Xenoverse event on the 27th? It's gonna be an online event, global event. We are hosting it. It's gonna be completely insane. There's gonna be a stream as well. I'm gonna be commentating. It's gonna be crazy. But I wish to know from you, will you be playing at the event? Has this tier list inspired you to play, to try some of these older decks, to dust off some of your older decks and give them another hurrah, man? Like, that's gonna be so great. I'm so excited for this. Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know which deck would you put in tier 0, tier 1? What's your personal tier list for this format? I'm interested into hearing your opinions on this one, because this is completely uncharted territory. Anyways, guys, leave your comments. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I really love our little community. And yeah, guys, before I leave, please hit that share button, hit those like and subscribe buttons, help us grow. We are on our way to 3,000 subs. We are almost halfway there. That's just gonna be insane. When we hit that, it's gonna be crazy. Guys, this has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.